All right, I'm back for another Too Tall Toby. I filtered to my not completed tier 4, 5, 6. I have not been successful with sheet metal. It's a different type of 3D modeling, so I'm going to skip that one. And I'm going to give this swoopy lofty a try. Anytime there's a sweep, that's kind of interesting. It's usually involves maybe multiple sketches that you're having to rotate about. Looks like average solve time 30 minutes. I don't know about that, so I'm going to save the year or the date 25/11/01, and we'll make sure we start. Let me get this a little bit bigger. Start with the component as usual. Makes everything easier. And we'll go ahead and get started. First thing you always want to do is check your units. Looks like it's in millimeters, which is what we have. Bill of materials is kind of new. Looks like we have multiple materials going on. Looks like this is an aluminum rail, and then we have a bunch of carbon steel wires. Okay, so how do we want to make this? Just thinking out loud, I typically like to diagram in the same direction as the provided diagram. It makes it a lot easier for my brain. But in this case, I feel like it'd be kind of strange to not have this be the origin right here and then build out from there. I'm wondering if I'll regret that though. Yeah, unclear. I'm very particular about wanting to be able to see the same angle. Some really interesting detail. Small flat spot. You got to remember we have to pay attention to those, otherwise things get real hard. What else is worth noting? This zoom in right here. It's kind of confusing, to be honest. Okay, so this is facing down, so the tube is going down and then to the right. Oh, this is for the countersinks, got it. Just giving you the radius. Okay. Now I'm assuming the lofts are for basically sketching these tubes aligned with the sketch, which is interesting. Are they inside the material at all, or is it just assumed to be straight in? I think it's assumed to be straight in. Meaning, like, do they go inside of this top material at all? Assuming no. Wire stops at this face. Okay, so they tell you that. I'm almost wondering if I should do a component within a component. Like this would be the rail. All right, let's decide on how we want to sketch this. I could just make this the origin so that I can follow the sketch. I think I'll do that. So I'll sketch looking down. I might regret this, but we'll see. Maybe I'll actually have this be the origin, given that these angles are based off of this center line, and that's the symmetrical center line. Which means I would only need to do this. Okay, I think I like that more. So what would that mean? It would mean sketching out arc, straight line, line, line. We could do a construction line to start. Let's just start with the construction line. And we're saying that this angle here, we need another construction line. Okay. Right out of the gate, I'm using construction lines, which I always feel like if I'm using construction line, there's probably a simpler way to do it, but they kind of help me. Whoa, I don't know what that was. And we're saying this is 45. And this whole thing is 235. Let's just make this not construction for now. No. $235. Okay. And then we can do an arc, tangent arc from we ran into this problem last time where I was trying to do a tangent arc on a line, not a point, which never works. So I still haven't figured out a nifty way of doing that. Let's keep moving though. Let's do this one, just 6. And then bring that up to here on this line. So how are we going to connect that? one thing I've done before is use like, what is it? Insert a point. And then you can do a tangent arc from that point. No, that doesn't work. It has to be an endpoint for a tangent arc. Okay. Where's the best way to do those curves? Another way of doing it would be like a 2-point circle that we bring down here, and then you set the diameter of that to 26 times 2. Oh, but again, we messed up. The 2 points are on the line, they're not on the origin. And we're saying we want this to be tangent. We want this and this and this to be not tangent. We want this and this to be horizontally or vertically aligned. And that does give me a nice line. And then I could just trim, you know, the excess. Could also trim this. I don't know if that was the right way to do that. Almost guaranteed it wasn't. What's another way we could have done that? If we had drawn our line, just as an example, we'll coincident these. What's a way we could do this? If I did a horizontal line, right? And then I did a tangent arc from here to here. And I said that these need to be tangent. And that this needs to be 20. And then I make that no longer construction, and I delete that. Is that the right way to do it? I don't know. What I do know is this first part, I think, is done. I think I'll extrude it up. Actually, we gotta close it. Oh, that is a construction line. There we go. Let's extrude. That's another construction line. Just got construction lines all over the place. Or it's, oh wait, that's not it. There we go. All right, the shade of blue tells us it's closed now. I should have paid attention to that. All right, so we're going to extrude this up by the width of this rail. Which is 10. Nice. And now we can do our I guess we could work on the wires now. So the wires, I feel like will be more easily sketched from the front. Now where does it show where these are divided? Or is it based off these distances? So it's a 22 gap. 22, 22, 22, 22. Now does it say where this distance from the top to this first one is? If we have that, then we're good. Or even just where this starts. How do I know how far up this rail this first wire is? There's got to be some. Just look at everything he's giving us. 26, 235, 4 diameter wire, 6 places. Wire stops at this face. 30, 10, 40 total. I'm just not seeing where. Oh boy. I can't figure out where I can strain the first wire. Where is that being? Now I was thinking maybe they described the distance of this wire to this countersink somehow. But I don't even see that. I see yeah. I'm not seeing anything telling me how far away either this one is from the top or this one is from the bottom. Really. Oh. Wait a second. No, it's saying 25 is where the that's for the radius. What the heck? What am I missing? What am I missing? Patience. It'll come to you. Just gotta look for it. All right, what I'm gonna do just to like make some progress to make sure I like have a path forward even if I do figure it out is I'm going to I have to get a sketch line going from the center of the circle on the bottom of this rail down and to the right to the origin. So you can imagine I could, if I knew where that dot was, I could create a plane that was parallel to, let's say, the XZ plane offset by the distance of that point. So I guess I need to know where the points are. But for now, what I'll do is I'll create a sketch and I'll do 6 points down the center line. Sure. And then we will do, let's just do one for now as a proof of concept. And we know that that is a what's the diameter of this wire? 4. Okay. Wow. All right. So now if I were to do so finish sketch, do a offset plane perpendicular to face at point. Well, can I just use a, so I can't use, a plane as a face. I mean, one way of doing it, which I don't like, would be to say, hey, what's the distance between, you know, this and this along the Y position. Yeah, I don't like that. I'm actually kind of surprised how offset that is from the origin. Yeah, now that I think about it, this sketch got wonked up somehow. There's nothing constraining it. Oof. All right, let's get something fixed here. Not tangent. Oh boy. I guess what you can say is you want this distance between those two to be 6. Oh, what a silly way to do that. Let's do a construction line. Yeah, I'm really not happy with how this is turning out. It just feels like it's turning into jank again. Let's make these. Why can't I make those tangent? Man. All right, let's back it up for a second. I feel like that is valid. It's just actually I don't think it's valid anymore. The angles are completely wrong. Boy, oh boy. I can't make these tangent for whatever reason. I can make them perpendicular, which makes no sense. How about I make these tangent? Oh, and when I got rid of this construction line, I basically got rid of this angle here, which was 45. What is going on, man? What is going on? What a mess. What an absolute mess. Oh boy. Why can't I move that? Why can't I move it? I can't figure out what constraint goes where. I should have made sure that I couldn't move anything when I first made this, but I think it's fixed now. Boy, that was embarrassing. I'm really making some big mistakes. All right, so how would I make an offset plane? I want plane tangent to face to plane at point. Or not tangent. I want an offset plane from here I mean, is that it? Just an offset plane to object? So now if I sketch on this, I feel like at this point I'm just sort of, you know, I don't know where I'm going with it, but we are going to keep trudging on. I want to project this point. Okay, so that's our point that we want to draw our line. It is interesting to me that it's describing the radius of these tubes. From the bend angle. I thought I would just basically figure out this line. Maybe I'm being naive. Maybe I needed to draw the path of the outer edge of the wire, the path of the inner edge of the wire. And then I would draw a circle and then have it follow, draw a circle between those two lines, and then have it follow the path. Let's back out. Let's edit this sketch. I think we can actually move it. We put a point on here. Oh, whoops. Let's delete that. I don't know what this sketch is. Let's delete it. Let's edit this. And we're going to do a 2-point circle. I guess I can't do that. It's a coincidence. So this is already coincidented. Okay. All right, so that oh. All right, so this is, wait, what? 4-inch, okay, or 4 millimeter. This is our line. We've got 2 points on the left and right. Now, let's finish the sketch. If I go to the front, whoa, what just happened? Let's move this down a little bit. All right, I'm being indecisive, but I gotta do one more thing, which is actually do this on the bottom. Okay. All right, so we're gonna do a line down the center. Coincident with the midpoint. I want to make sure it's parallel. Okay, so it is parallel. Okay, good. Now, let's add our circle, which is 4. I'm going to add my construction line that I want to be horizontal, and I want it to be coincident with the circle and now that's good. Okay, so now we go to the front. And now if we sketch on the front, no wait, sorry. Okay. This is complicated. I need to do an offset plane to object. That object is going to be the center of my circle. Then I'm going to sketch on that offset plane. And I'm going to project that and that. Maybe we could project that whole edge if we want. Okay. And you bring this down. And then tangent arc. And then line. And then this guy. Tangent arc. Line. Construction line down the center. This is good, yep. Then, actually, I need to stop doing construction lines and just say, hey, I want this and this and this to be vertically aligned. Whoa. Okay. This and this to be vertically aligned. Okay. And then we're gonna set these equal to tangent. Set that equal to tangent. That should be tangent. Already constrained. That's already constrained, so they're both tangent. And then we need to set the radius of the outer one to 12. And then this one to 8. And it's 4-inch wire, so we just need to make sure that this is 4. This is not a construction line. Does that look like what we want it to look like? I mean, I kind of feel like it does. I feel like I only needed to worry about this outer line. Because then once you have the circle and the line, this inner radius sort of falls into line. Okay. Well, one thing I'm realizing I need to do is create a new component called wire. And I'm going to move these sketches into it. Let's move all the sketches back. I want this one. Okay. We need 6 of them. One, two, wait. What the heck's going on? How do I duplicate along a line? I guess I can't. I have to do it all manually. 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. And then we gotta do construction lines for all of them. Horizontal. Make sure it's coincident. Make sure it's horizontal. Make sure it's coincident. Make sure it's horizontal. Make sure that's coincident. Make sure that's coincident. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. This is insane. There's no way this is the right way to do it. What the fuck? Oh no. I thought I projected. Oh shit. You could duplicate these along a path. what if finish sketch? Whatever. Let's try it. Sorry. So we're going to sweep this along this path. Now let's see if I can actually do that. If I pattern on path. And that's pretty cool. That is certainly one way to do it. I just don't know how I would figure out the endpoint. Well, I didn't like that anyways. I guess I never measured this distance. So from here to here is 30. Same with this. This can't be the right way to do it. I mean, theoretically, I could just follow the same path for all of them. Let's try it. Okay, that doesn't work. I thought it would be magical. It is not. Obviously not the right way to do this. Now I'm just toughing through it because I decided I was never going to give up on these videos and start over. I do watch other people's videos after I'm done to learn better ways to do it. I never do follow-up videos to explain what I learned. I could get better about that. Now I am just brute forcing this. We'll get there. We'll get there. I'm patient. Too patient. One more. One more. Can't wait to watch how people do this the correct way. I mean, that's even if I even figure out how to space these out properly. I guess I can get the weight. Okay. That's just nuts. So we know the distance between the pipes. Is 22. What does that mean? How would I make sure? Let me do something crazy. I've never done this before. If I create a sketch on this plane and I project this and this, and I say I want this and this to be, no. So I can't alter now. What I can do maybe is project this, this, and then say the distance between these. No. All right. Well, oh my God, I don't know. If it's 22 between them and it's a 2-inch radius, then it's 24, 26 apart from the center. Let's do that. Delete that sketch. We say 26, 26, it just keeps getting worse and worse, the amount of like trade-offs I'm having to make. I think that was an extra. $26. Oh, that was another extra. Wow. How many are there? Oh my God. This is ridiculous. Okay, jeez Louise. Wow. It is pretty cool. I'm able to just sort of move that around. Oh, I did not constrain that, it looks like. This radius needs to be constrained to 12. Same with this one. This one. Okay, we got all those. Now we just got to figure out does it give us the length of any of these? I don't understand how we're supposed to. It doesn't give us the distance or the length of any of these wires. It doesn't give us any distance from this. Oh wait, shit. From this line to the top. Crap. Okay. So if we project this line and we say the distance between gosh dang it. This dimension would over-constrain the sketch. What am I doing? All right. Distance between here and here is 150 minus 2. Nope. Between here 19 minus 2, which is this distance minus the radius of the wire, because I'm doing this completely fucking wrong. Holy crap. All right, now let's go back to the rail. Let's do a sketch on this. And it is, so we're going to project these two. Sure. And we're going to say how do I do this? Basically saying there's a line, and then from this line you've got a tangent arc to that, and we're saying that this is 38, and the distance between here and here is 25. Okay. Finally, we've got the countersinks. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we do a sketch on this plane. And we'll project this. Let's do a construction line just to make it easier. We're going to coincident this with the midpoint over here. Good. And then we'll draw a circle. Non-construction. We know that these are 8 to 4. The distance between that and the tip is 70. And then another circle, that's 8. And the distance between this and this is 70. Okay. And I think if we do a hole, we can do a countersink. Oops. Countersink. We're saying the top is 8, right? And we're saying this is four. And then this is 90 degrees. I think that's all it needs. Let's do one more. Okay. Oh, whoops. This distance seems wrong. Let me just double check on this sketch. Nope. Sorry. All right, we're done. Okay, now let's do material for the rail, which is alum alloy, and then material for the rails is carbon steel. And then let's get the properties. 3.188 grams. Oh my gosh. Wow. Oh my goodness. That was rough. That was real rough. All right, time to go watch some tutorials to see how I could have made this way less painful. Thanks for not watching. This is way too long for anyone to watch. Bye.